Hey everyone, this is a video where we're going to talk about how to use function composition, which is what we've been using for homework the previous night and also in class today, to prove whether functions are inverses of one another or not. So the worksheet, the second part of the worksheet packet that you have for the weekend here is just a couple of examples that I want to go over with you, and then you have the rest of problems 1 through 8 to complete on your own. So the idea behind function inverses is that it's a function that kind of undoes another function. So if we're thinking about the function inverse formula, if you want to follow it, if I am able to take f of x and g of x and let them be inverses, if and only if, what I can do with those functions is compose them one direction, so find f of g of x, and it's the same thing as g of f of x, and that both of those come out to just be x. So you're going to see lots of things canceling out as you put one function inside of another. And so I want to walk through a couple of those examples with you. The first example we're going to do, you're going to see that it will come out to be inverses. And then the second example is one where it does not come out to be inverses. So we're actually going to skip down to number 3 here. So in number 3, this time we don't have f of g of x, but we have f of g of n that we want to find first. And remember, that's going to start by simply putting what g of n is, which is 4n plus 16, into our f function. So that is a negative 16 plus the entire input in for n. So again, a reminder, wherever n is, that's where our input to our function is going to take the place of. And now our function itself is a fraction, so f of n is all of that divided by 4. So what we want to do is we want to simplify this and show that it just comes out to be n. So we get negative 16 plus 4n plus 16. And that's all over 4. And I hope you can see the canceling that's going to happen there. Positive and negative 16 is going to cancel out. And so we are left with 4n divided by 4. And then our 4's are going to cancel out. And we're just left with n. Okay, so that's the composition of f of g of n. If these are truly inverses, then when I compose them in the other direction, I should get the same outcome. So this time we're going to do g of f of n, and we're going to see what that is. Now this time, that's g of all of f of n, which is that fraction, negative 16 plus n, all over 4. So again, this is now my input into my g function. So all of this is going to take the place of the n variable. So this is going to be 4 times all of that fraction inside the parentheses, and then plus 16 on the outside. And so we're going to simplify. When we simplify, the 4's numerator and denominator factors there are going to cancel out immediately. And that is going to become negative 16 plus n, and then plus 16, and we can see another set of cancelings, and so that is just n as well. And so because we could compose these in either direction and get n as an outcome, then we know they are inverses of each other. So that's one that does work out nicely for you. Let's backtrack to number 1, and I'll show you one that does not work out nice. So number 1, We have g of f of x that we want to find first, let's say, which is going to be the same thing as g of, the whole thing of f of x is now my input, 1/2 x plus 3/2. Oops, forgot another parenthesis there. And then that is going to equal, again, all of this is getting put in for x in the g function. So that is 4 minus 3/2 times all of that. And so we'll see what that simplifies to. That's going to be 4 minus 3/4 x if I distribute, minus 9/4. And when I simplify that, we simply get negative 3/4 x, and then plus, so that's 16/4 is 4, minus 9/4 is 7/4. The point being, you guys, that it is not the same thing as n. So I really don't even need to check the other composition direction of f of g of x. If my first outcome comes out to not be n, then they are not inverses. So that's how that's going to work, and you guys have 6 more problems that you want to do. There's not a whole lot of room on this worksheet space unless you write really tiny, so set yourself up for success and grab some scrap paper if you need it, okay? Good luck!